Hello everyone, Railgan here to talk to you about the ladder map pool from Season 2 2017. We have a total of 7 maps as we have every map pool, leaving some slots open. Maybe sometime in the future we will actually get more maps, but we have the 2 recurring maps, Abyssal Reef and Proxima Station from last season. We have 5 new maps, Sequence Rally, Ascension to Aiur, Defender's Landing, Blood Boil and Odyssey LE. Played some games on the maps as you can see by my record. Lost every game on Sequencer, feels bad man. And I'm going to show you them with 5 short replays. I'm not really going to go in depth about the on the replays, but just kind of want to talk a little bit about the maps and how they play out, or what I assume is how they play out. So we're going to start with Odyssey against Protoss. Odyssey, a very interesting map. I think the mineral patches are mostly normal except at this gold, where you do get those 8 mineral patches, where in the past you would usually get like 6. Then you also only have 1 gas at the gold to compensate for that. The same case is true for the opposite side, of course. All maps are mirrored, and the expansion layout is something that you see on a lot of maps in this season. You have the main natural and then the third here or here. So you have 2 potential third bases, one here. And of course each third base is also a potential fourth if you did decide not to take it as your first base. Then we have a 5th base down here, 6th base. You can kind of expand towards here, and if you paid attention, what do we see? 3 gases over here with a total of 5 mineral patches. Is it only 5? I thought it was 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only 5 mineral patches. That's a little bit less. That's very little, but you do have to get the 3 gases over here. So especially in the late game, these bases are going to be very important. I kind of like that, because it does show you that the more the game progresses, the more it will be about the center expansions, right? And if you can take a hold of these expansions, which are hard to defend, it's kind of like gold. It's like a gold mineral base with gold gas instead. That's kind of how I look at the space. You're very open to attacks from up here, so it will be a little bit hard to defend these spaces. As you can see, I choose to expand over here to take my third base, and the Protoss player walled off the natural with 3 buildings and a pylon. It's a wall-off that we see very common on a lot of maps this season. He also elects to take this base as his third base. Completely fine. I think I take this base for my 4th actually. It is a little bit easier to defend in my opinion. I'm not really sure yet. You also have the destructible rocks down here to block off the potential of base in the corner for your opponent. What I also saw in a lot of games is that the players just kind of expanded straight up. So you have like a line of expansions, but that also spreads you out very much on the map, or a lot on the map. The space is kind of weird to take because it's kind of protected by the destructible rocks and at the same time very open through this area. I also took that as a third in some games, especially against Terran though. Spreading creep through the center of the map is kind of easy on this map. We are seeing the Protoss attack me over here, but he's just going to get shredderonied here. So nothing too interesting is going on here. The maps are very open in the center, and you do have these watchtowers that give you quite a bit of vision on the map in an area that will allow you to defend the gold base a little bit easier. You can still be attacked along the very bottom path of the map. And what's also important to note is that you do have this huge area in your main where you're open to drops. For example, if he has a medivac here, he can drop this base, and this base very quickly. Like bounce around between the bases. So drops are going to be interesting to see. Also the distance from this base to this base by air is really tiny, but ground units have to walk kind of in a circle around. So that is going to take some time. Either way, that will conclude the review of this map, and we will go over to the next one. What shall it be? What shall it be? I think it's one of the better maps, the one that we just had a look at. Defender's Landing is garbage. My opinion. Like this map. Holy guacamole. So you have the cooling tower that you can kill to kind of block off your block off the center part of the map as I'm playing against the resident mech god that's actually going to go bio on this map. What's a little bit intriguing is this ledge over here. I'm not sure if Blizzard changed this, but you cannot jump into the main base with Reapers. So the Reapers only really have 2 attack paths, which makes it a lot easier to defend them. On this map I usually take my 3rd base over here and then I take my 4th base either here or here. Taking the center map bases is really hard because the rush distance really tiny, right? Natural to natural is only this. So expect to see a lot of early pools and CVCs. I like the debris that block off the center part of the map. I didn't actually realize that there were 2 debris there blocking off that part, but there are. Let's say it like that. Sir can also drop pretty easily into the opponent's main base in this map by just flying an Overlord here and dropping there. The main bases are very big. They need to be big so that Terrans and Protoss can put their production buildings there, right? It's kind of, at the same time they don't want to be dropped, so it has its pluses and negative sides. Positive and negative sides rather. Yeah, you see me use that drop mechanic a little bit over here to do some damage to Aiur. Avilo, not Aiur. I have to get called out for my cancer tier 1 drop. Ignore the chat, I'm sorry. Took that 3rd base, and then I think I will take this one as my 4th. The map, the key feature is just that this part of the map is very small, very short, and you can attack from one main to the other very quickly, or rather one natural to the other. And the rest of the map didn't really see much play. Sometimes I get dropped over here, I can kind of deal with that. Get dropped in my main, can deal with that as well. The first 3 bases are pretty easy to take, but as you can see, like, it just pushes through the center. I can kill these cooling towers to buy a little bit of time here, but not really doing that. Yeah. Eventually, as you can see, I'm already almost at his natural, right? His push dies and I'm already in his natural. So 3 base all-ins on this map through the center part of the map are going to be insane. Yeah. That's pretty much my thoughts on this map. Just don't like the short rush distance. Tanks here are also very good. Like, it's very good for tanks. Put a tank here and then you can also kind of push down here. Put a tank here, 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 and you're already in the 4th, 3rd natural. Like, you can push everywhere really fast if you get control of this center part. So I think it will be a more Lingbane Mutalisk heavy map, at least against Terran. Didn't play against the Protoss yet, so I can't really give you guys my thoughts on that matchup, but that shall conclude the review of this map. Worst map in the pool for me right now. As a sequencer, the ladder edition. This map, I played 3 games on it. 2 games I got all in. The 3rd game was kind of a macro game where I was out of position. So I can't really give you in-depth thoughts on this map either. But what is notable for me is that the 3rd base, that the kind of in-base, the in-base outside of the base, 3rd base over here, that is protected by these rocks, which will open it up to more attacks. Does only have 1 gas. That base only has 1 gas and 6 mineral patches, so usually you have 8 mineral patches. But it's something that we see very common on these maps. You also have this base with only 1 gas and 6 mineral patches. So they're kind of weird, right? In the center part of the map you have a lot of destructible debris, a lot of destruction going on. The rush distance also is a little bit shorter than it appeared to me, at least. I would have figured the rush distance is a bit longer than it actually is on this map, but I don't know. Being attacked over here a little bit by the lynx, I got that spine up. And yeah, you can take this base over here as either your 3rd or 4th base. If you take this base as your 3rd, you just have to live with the fact that you'll have less mineral and gas income, so that really throws up the entire game plan. we already talked a little bit about that. Like, you can afford different types of unit compositions, but you can also, like, it's also kind of hard to deal with that, because that one less gas is just makes such a huge difference. Having that 18-ish% less gas than you would usually have. 15-ish, I don't know. 18 I think is what it should be. It really makes a difference. You can also wall off this part here quite easily. As long as the debris are there, can wall it off completely and then just kill the debris. You kind of have a couple options here. I elected to go for a roach heavy style, and so did my opponent with a very Ravager heavy follow-up, going for the 5 gases. As you can see, only 12 drones on this base, while you have 16 on this one, so there is a bit of a difference going on. Went for the Mutalisks myself with some Roach Ravager, and I think it just got completely out of position on this map for some reason and then ended up dying. We're both taking this base as our 4th base. He took his a little bit faster. You want that 4th base a bit faster so you can actually get the drones and the mineral fields. I'm not sure, like my units are over here going all the way around, and then it just kind of goes in here and kills me. Yeah. This is the most macro-y game that I saw on this map yet. I mean, the central part of the map with the destructible debris is kind of cool. I like the design of the map is really cool. You also have these watchtowers to actually spot on the side instead of the center. Usually you have the watchtowers and like would have a watchtower here to kind of oversee this area. He decided to have a watchtower here and here. The map maker that is. I think that's kind of cool as well. And you have the corner bases. Everything is very flat, clean, symmetrical, doesn't trigger my OCD. Beautiful map. But didn't really have too much happening on this map yet. It's just that I don't know yet what I should think of these bases that have a little bit less gas and minerals. Well, we're going to see, right? Now to the best map, Blood Boil. Man oh man, do I love this map, and man oh man, do I have something to talk about here. First of all, aesthetically pleasing, beyond belief. Like, look at this beauty here. The red trees. You have the bloody poo pillar next to your potential 4th base. Just beautiful. You have that in-base natural where you have a total of 10 mineral patches in a single gas, so a little bit more on the mineral heavy side compared to the gas. And you also have that 3rd base over here, or natural, depending on how you expand, right? I'm going to call this the Bermuda Triangle. It's a place where all the war prisms of the Protoss players fly and never come back, right? The Triangle of Doom, the Triangle of Vanquish. I'm going to use the Protoss base for my reference here, because it's kind of easier for me to read. You have the 4th base over here, or over here, or a gold base for your 4th, or even straight to the natural. And the gold base has not 5, 4, but 8 mineral patches. So 2 more than you would usually have on the 6 mineral gold patches, and you have the double gas. Man, I guess that's why they gave this base 10 mineral patches to kind of compensate for that, but holy guacamole is this pretty. And would you look at that, Railgan abusing it to the max, immediately taking that gold base expansion. Not really sure how good it will be to transfer the workers from your main base to the gold base in this map, because the rush distance is... the main yard, I guess is what we call this distance, is pretty far. Like, the workers take a long while. Kind of start to sweat on the way there, you know. Anyways, yeah, it's an interesting map. He gets that very safe natural as well. He defended over here. I killed this gateway and core, if you really want to know, with my early pool. I'm not really going to show you guys the replays in the description either. If you want to find the replays, just look me up on SC2 replay stats. All the games are there. I'm going to take this base as my 4th this game, I believe, but you can also expand over here to take your 4th, expand over here to take your 5th, I don't know. Like, usually what I do if I do not take the gold immediately on this map is I expand main, natural, third. Then I expand fourth, 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 all at the same time. Let's just expand to all 3 bases just to get that economy going. And if we check a look at the income tab, we are about even, right? I have a little bit less workers and we are about even in income because Protoss in this current patch. Oh, did you see that? Has the chrono boost and my expansions were a bit late, so he got out more workers. He's cleaning up these rocks so you can have an easier time defending these 3 bases. You also need to be careful not to be dropped in this area and or in this area, of course. You always have that little bit of wiggle room in the main base as the other races to, well, spot. So you do get that gold base, but it doesn't give you a huge boost. As you can see, he's kind of able to hang with me, even has a slightly bigger income. Right now I'm actually going to overtake him in terms of minerals, while being a little bit behind in gas. Yeah, it was an interesting game, interesting map. You have this watchtower here that I sadly do not take. I would like here you can kind of see the vision of it, the vision radius, something like this, where you are able to see any attacks towards your gold base, because especially if he has some Banes here and walks him into the gold base, you're going to lose a lot of stuff very quickly. So for the CVC early game aggression games, this gold base could be detrimental, and I think every Zerg will expand over here, or at least try to, for a little bit of time before people figure out that you just kind of get all in if you do, and they're like, I'm not gonna deal with this anymore. I really like these rocks. If you kill them, you can kind of block him out from this part of the map. Put a spine here and kill the zealots that are going to attack the destructible debris, as it will look like it does over here. Taking this space as your fourth is okay. Can also be dropped over here, of course. So, like, you have a lot of attack paths on this map. I assume he's going to take this space as his fourth because it's a bit safer to take. But he gets attacked just as he wants to take it, so it kind of falls flat on his face. Or the plan falls flat on its face. Bam bam. Income is a bit higher, of course. I have 10 more workers, but the gold base really gives you that nice boost over here by allowing the workers to mine 7 minerals per haul instead of the 5. And yeah, I eventually overpower him with my Hydra Force while he's going for the Void Rays, which are not that good against the Hydras, as long as you don't have the Carrieronis, is what I wanted to say. But yeah, I think it's an interesting map. You have a lot of expansion layers. Actually, I took this space as my 5th instead of this space. You also would have a watchtower here to kind of see where the units are going in this area. You could still warp in units down here with a warp prism or stuff like that, or drop along the very edge. So the watchtowers give you a nice vision over army movement, but don't really give you vision over the enemy harassment capabilities with drops or units like that. Yeah, let's go on over to the next map. Don't want to make the video too long. If you guys want some more in-depth stuff, please tell me. But we're going to go to the last map. Actually, I do have a better replay for this. Let me quickly check. Ascension to Aiur. Zerg, 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 Zerg. AI, AI, AI. Only played against Zerg on this map, as you can tell. Like, welcome to an AE where the players you face are Zerg and the ladder points you get are not worth as much as the European ones. I'm playing against the legendary Slayer Spawner in the bottom right position. This map, right? This map is so weird because it's so standard. Like, we saw a lot of crazy stuff. Here we have 10 mineral patches, there we have 8 mineral patches, and then this map, it's just standard, right? You can rush through the center part, like he's going to do with this drone as he goes for a scout. The drone will pass the watchtower to the east and the watchtower to the south, not taking either of them. Walks beneath the overlords, heads straight on into my base, showing my beautiful natural base that I built over here. I think you can wall off here with 3 buildings and a pylon, as you can on pretty much every map. It's actually going for a spine crawler rush. Like, the games I play make no sense whatever. Anyways, Either way, you can take this base or this base as your third base. You can take this base as your fourth base. If you're curious what's happening over here, I'm just killing his links with my drones and then I'm evacuating the drones. Lost 4 drones total here and I don't care. Let him shoot at me with that spine. Right. Yeah. Defended. I'm a little bit ahead in supply at this point because I do have the links, but I was a little bit behind in the drone count otherwise. Anyway, you have 2 possible third bases, which of course we saw on the other map as well. Was it Odyssey? That looks exactly like this. As always, you can see the map name down here if you want to know. You have the 5th base location. You can also expand straight southwards like this. I did that against some Zergs as well. Only played against Zergs, so against what other race should I have done it, right? But these are pretty much the 2 third bases that you can take. It of course once again puts you in this position where a medivac here can drop you here, here and here if you decide to take that base, I don't know. 2 watchtowers could be very important because they do kind of show a nice big part of the map to you. Makes it a bit harder for your opponent to attack, but once again you can still harass along the very top side. We have a lot of ramps leading into the natural and into the 3rd base and into the potential 4th base and into the potential 5th base. Yeah. He built that. When I saw this, like, just I see 3 queens, I see a macro hatch, and then he goes into Spire Hydralisk then. Like, what am I playing against here? Like, he takes a macro hatch and then has only queens, goes Hydra Spire. I was like, this is going to be Massling, isn't it? And then he goes Muta instead. The mind games. Muta Lurker at that. Sometimes. I already reached my 3 base saturation at that point in the game, so I didn't really care much. I don't actually know whether I win or lose this game either. The games are weird. And actually I remember this game. It's actually a pretty interesting game. Has a nice sweet ending to it. But yeah. This is the Cloud Kingdom 5th base is what I call it. Like, it always reminds me of Cloud Kingdom, and you can take a 3rd base and then the 4th base on the low ground right next to it down a ramp. You'd have the destructible debris here if it was a true Cloud Kingdom 4th base. But I'm going to count it. On this map you only have the destructible debris. You don't have the Cloud Kingdom here, but the rocks actually, it's not even debris. I guess it kind of depends on the map tile set, whether they're rocks or debris. To protect this base, yeah, I don't know. Weird map. Weird map because it's so standard, right? The mineral patches and gases, everything is so standard on this map. You can expand either vertically or horizontally. I expanded vertically, and so does he this game, to kind of stay a little bit further away from each other. I went for this push against him into his lurkers here and kind of threw away all my units. Should have just killed that base there. Would have made more sense, but either way, doesn't really matter. I think I'm not sure if I'll take this base or this base as my 5th. Actually, I take this base. So I take the Cloud Kingdom 5th base instead of the Cloud Kingdom 4th base. But this map layout really resembles Cloud Kingdom in my mind. It's so Cloud Kingdom-y. But I don't know. I'm not even sure if Cloud Kingdom was the first map to bring us this map layout. It just is. Screams Cloud Kingdom at me. And I want to show you guys the ending of this game because it's bittersweet. As he's going for the Brood Lords, I'm going to kind of speed through the game right now. Speedity, 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 die. He has Lurker Brood Lord and I don't know. He is so scared of my army. Maybe he just doesn't want to lose anything. I have a huge bank at home. Lost his corruptors to the corrosive bile there. Eventually cleans up my force over here. And did some cute roach harassment over here, because you're kind of spread out if you expand the way I do. But then I have Ultra Hydra Viper, and he has Lurker Broodlord Muta Roach. And I abduct his Broodlords and he's like, what the fuck? Those can be abducted. No, I made an indecent joke, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I can actually abduct the Broodlord's morphing. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the end, because I'm way ahead in supply right now. Over here, the Ultralisk, and eventually my other units clean up all his stuff, and that concludes the map review, so let's have a quick overview once again. I mean, we have the two old maps, right? I'm not gonna talk about them. We all know Proxima Station. We all know Abyssal Reef, the watery, aquarium-y map. Maybe we don't all know, but they were already there last season. Sequencer has that weird third base, very symmetrical. Ascension to Aiur is the super standard map that we had a look at last game. Defender's Landing does have that very short rush distance through the center of the map. Blood Boil is the aesthetically pleasing, very beautiful map with the gold base next to your main and the in-base with 10 mineral patches. And Odyssey is odd. Odyssey is the base where you can vertically expand to a gold, and with the triple gas potential 20th base, let's call it the 20th base. That concludes my map review. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope I'll see you guys once again tomorrow or later today. I don't know. We upload a video a day. We stream almost every day right now, and I just want to thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!